Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford ZDC, and today we're taking a look at the Divo Knives Nip. This one here is in the, I believe they call this the Jack Sparrow black carbon fiber. Here, I can grab the box and get an actual answer for you guys. I think that would be smart. Let's see. What do we got here? Well, on the box we have double black CF, belt satin, and of course, as I have not mentioned yet, these are an S90V. This is the most recent release from Divo. These are out in the wild already, and I don't know of anywhere that has them available off the top of my head, but if somewhere does, I will link it in the description. They also have a full titanium version, which I believe I'll also be getting in, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to post this video separately on its own. And yes, they called this it's black pearl camo carbon, or camo carbon fiber. DLC accents and belt satin. They were calling this the Jack Sparrow version because of the black pearl. So that's where I got that name from. I'm always thankful for the little cheat sheets they give here. You know, I'll give you a little nip info cheat sheet right there in the bottom. I don't want to show the rest of this just in case, but it was $175 regardless of your handle choice, and it was at White Mountain Knives, as well as the Divo website and Traditional Pocket Knives, TPK. So those are your three potential places to find these. And they also had the Purple Nurple, which had a purple and lavender carbon fiber with purple accents. The Tidbit, which was stonewashed titanium with blue accents and a stonewash blade. That was a White Mountain Knives exclusive. And then they had a full blackout as well with a blackwash blade. So, with those little formalities out of the way, let's just talk a little bit more about the nip here, because it is a tiny little knife. Not like insanely small or anything. You can see how it fits in my hand here, and my hands are dirty. I was just cleaning out an old slip joint, so I'm covered in gunk from that. So you'll have to forgive me for that. But, you know, this is not a large knife. I'm going to set this down and let me grab some comparison knives here. I'm going to use a TRM Atom and a TRM Neutron. The Atom being your 3.5-inch blade kind of size, you know, similar to like a large Spenza, similar to a small Spenza here, with the Neutron, which has a 3-inch blade. And you can see it's much smaller than both of these. So let me get the TRMs out of the way here, and we will talk about this knife's size. Not in specs or anything. I'm just going to give you it's tiny but little section here. So yes, it is a small knife, and you guys know I have large hands. You know, this is something that I could hide in the palm of my hand. You know, you have no idea it's there. It's a small knife. But they did a great job with the ergonomics on this large forward choil, as well as the cant, and this handle really makes this a nice 3-finger knife, and there's just a little bit sticking out that my pinky lands on, which is great. And if you really want to, they have an integrated lanyard loop into the back spacer here, so you could add a lanyard on so your pinky had something to grab onto, but I honestly don't think it needs it. This finger choil plus that cant in the handle gives you quite a bit of purchase on this, and especially with your thumb being right behind, you're kind of squeezing the knife like this, so it's not going anywhere. It's very, very sturdy and comfortable in the hand, despite being so small. So that's awesome to see. As I mentioned when reading that little note, this is an S90V, so this is the perfect little long-lasting pocket box cutter. You know, this has a clip, of course. This is a milled titanium clip mounted with 2 screws. I'm sure if you wanted to get some kind of different clip, you could, but this is it's a different type of design, one you don't see a whole lot of out there. Similar to like the Pena X series clips. So if you have a clip replacement that fits that, it might fit this, but I'm not going to give any guarantees there. And then you have your black accents, which look all really nice. The texturing on this carbon fiber is really nice. I mean, yeah, despite the size, it's super functional. And as I said, like a pocket box cutter, this has a nice hollow grind, and it gets quite thin behind the edge. I have to kind of get away from the center of the camera to show this off, because of course I'm filming on an iPhone, so the camera is over here, but this is centered, so hopefully you can kind of tell how thin that edge gets. Yeah, it's a good view of it right there. It gets nice and thin with that hollow grind, which makes this really slicey. The blade stock's not overly thick at all, and the grind takes up about 80-90% of the blade, so you get a nice hollow that makes this super slicey, and that tip being nice and pointy like that, nice and thin, makes it super easy to get into packages in this kind of a grip where you just need a tiny bit of this edge. You really do not need much at all to get in and slice through that tape, because this is so thin, and that S90V will take a really keen edge and allow you to keep that edge for a long time. You know, it's a very it's a long-lasting steel. It can be chippy at times, but you're not going to be putting like a 12-degree crazy thin edge on this. You don't need to, because it's hollow ground. You know, you can add a 20-degree, 25-degree per side edge on this, and it's still going to perform really nicely. And that'll help keep that edge a lot more stable too. But you could probably still get away with 17, 18 degrees on the edge for this guy. Now, you saw me close it a few times now, so all I will say is this is a liner lock. You can see that there. This does have liners on both sides, so this is not a one-sided liner knife. It's not a inset liner lock or anything like that. They are full liners, and it gives it just a little bit of weight. You know it's there, but it's not heavy at all. And it's on bearings as well, so you can get that to drop right to your finger and then shake it down the rest of the way. And we all know Kevin and Colin love the holes on their knives, love to be able to flick their knives. So they made sure that the nip, despite being nice and small, was absolutely a pleasure to deploy with the hole. The positioning of this pocket clip makes it really easy to get in here with your thumb. With the middle finger, you know, you don't need a whole lot here. So I'm just throwing my pointer finger across the back, thumb across the front, right on this little pad here. You can fire that out, absolutely no problem. And they even included the little flipper tab in case you might have some dexterity issues. You know, you could always use two hands, but if you can do this kind of a motion with your finger while squeezing the rest, it deploys fantastically using that there flipper tab. Don't know why I said it like that. It sounds a little odd for me to say that there flipper tab, but nevertheless, this is a good one from Kevin and Colin, and I don't think I've ever talked shit on a Divo knife, and there's a reason for that. You guys know I'm very honest when it comes to my reviews. If I don't like something, I'm gonna call it out, and size is something that makes a difference to me a lot of times, whether something is ergonomic or not. It can depend on like a 1/4 inch of handle. I complain about that all the time with different stuff, but this guy, despite its size, is really comfortable. Listen, would a 4-finger grip be awesome? Yeah, of course. Would a bigger version of the nip be awesome? Yeah, absolutely. What would they call it? I have no idea, but that'd be super cool. But something very similar to this is coming out soon, which is the Lush. I know they're shooting for a release for that fairly soon. I don't want to disclose any information without them announcing it, but you know, the Lush should be available soon, and then Stout V2s are coming out after that. So you have larger knives from them. So there's no need for it. You know, this has its place being a small knife in the Divo lineup, and it does a great job of that. And I don't know if there is a better small knife for them to make, except maybe the other version of this that they toyed with. I don't know if Kevin has shown that off at all. So I'm not going to talk about that either, besides what I just mentioned. But, you know, the nip is the design for them for small knives. I firmly believe that. They might still make them because they like smaller knives, both Kevin and Colin. But for me, this is like the quintessential small Divo. This is better for me than the Pony Stout. It's smaller than the Pony Stout. And yeah, I think this takes the cake as Divo's best small knife. Now, when you talk about their larger knives, it's a whole different discussion. We could dive into that one day. But this video is about the Nip here, and it's a good one, guys. If these are still available somewhere, please consider picking one up. You will not be disappointed. And if they're not available somewhere, keep an eye out on the secondary, or if they do another run in the future, be on the lookout. Make sure you keep up with Lefty EDC here on YouTube, as well as Instagram. Colin Mason Pierre CM Knife Designs on Instagram, as well as the Divo Knives account, of course, over on Instagram is probably the best place to follow them. If I remember to link them, they will all be in the description down below. If not, they are all very easy to find. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts and if you have a Nip down below. And yeah, thank you guys again. Appreciate you watching and taking the time. With that, take care and have a great rest of your day.